I was most afraid of the technicalities. I was thinking that maybe mic will not work, so I'll need to shout. And judging by yesterday, I can't. So today, I wanted to talk about product versus engineering struggle or fight, or let's say, not necessarily dynamics, but people told me, look, you can't really talk about fights or struggles when you talk about product development, right? So you need to talk about some let's say, relationship between the two the departments. So I decided to call it dynamics. But initially, I wanted to talk about the struggle. Now, some of you might recognize I really love rugby, and this is, I think, New Zealand versus Ireland. This is called a scrum. And I think in the agile world, this actually terminology comes from this, right? And this is actually something that is happening in conversations on not only daily, but maybe, let's say, weekly or bi-weekly basis. And this thing is called product backlog refinement. Now, what is a product backlog refinement? Why do we have it in Infobip? And why do we operate using this one? Well, in order for me to explain this term to you and why do we work this way today, I need to go a few steps back. First of all, I want to talk about the product that I'm working in. The product is called Conversations, and it's actually an abbreviation of the Cloud Contact Center. We provide a service to agents that are interacting with customers using different communication channels. It is sometimes called in Infobip terminology omni-channel experience. This means that you can use multiple channels to talk with your customers. I wanted to do a couple of screenshots, and then I went to the Infobip pages to find, those beautiful, beautiful screenshots, but I couldn't find any, so I put just one random. It doesn't really display most of the features that we have, but it had dark mode, so it's very important for representation. Okay, let's go back to the 2018. In 2018, Infobip was and still is today the market leader in the CPaaS area. This means that we can send the SMS message better than anybody else, okay? And in that situation where we were the market leader, we wanted to develop a new layer of our products that are being built on top of these communication channels. So we decided to build Conversations or Cloud Contact Center because we had most of the knowledge and technologies to build it. But at that stage, to be honest, we had nothing. We had zero. We only had an idea. But we need a new product because, if you remember the motto of Infobip, we are just starting. We are starting to build a new product. We are trying to do something, okay? We want to, let's say, beat the competition by being humble engineers, just starting some product. What were the requirements? Well, to be honest, requirements are a bit dynamic, as it always goes. So we decided to go to the customers that are using our existing products and ask them, look, what do you need from a cloud contact center? Would you use it? Okay, what would you like to have? And ultimately what happened is that our customers said, well, we want something like a beautiful product, nice UI, super fast, real-time, extremely performant, scalable, available everywhere, available anytime, 24/7. Now, some of you are engineers here in the crowd. When I say 24/7, scalable, fast, real-time, everything, like you're already, oh my God, what's happening? And these were all the requirements that we had. Now, one question for you. Does anybody know how do you solve this huge amount of requirements in a short time? Anybody? How do we tackle all of this? Anybody knows? Come on. This is what drives our industry. Money. So we throw money at the problem, come on. So if you have a lot of dollars, just spend them, So we ultimately initially started with a small, humble team of a couple of developers, but we used most of the third-party software. This is really important, okay? So we took a lot of money, we paid a lot of third-party providers, such as AWS, and we basically use their knowledge and their technology to solve our problem. We had a huge database hosted on AWS. Now, some of you probably already can recognize that this could lead to pitfalls, because if this database gets expensive, you are locked to this database, right? So you can't really change it. You are starting to pay more and more. But okay, let's see if we did have any success. I mean, it's good if we managed to earn some money, right? Well, long story short, we made it. It was a huge success. In 3 months, we managed to build a small team around the product, and we managed to build most of these features that I was actually mentioning, and we started working on a lot of other features, such as analytics for the entire solution. Not to mention the analytics had the same database as the production. This is not so good, but okay. So what's next? That's always the question. How can we grow? How can we develop a new product? How can we go further? What can we do now? Well, we entered into an era in Infobip called the exponential growth. Okay, this was the mantra of our company. We want to grow every of our products in an exponential manner. So it means if you had like 10 customers, now we want to have 100 customers, right? And if you had, let's say, conversations that you are selling to a customer with 10 agents or agent licenses, remember, we are creating a product for agents. Now we want 100 agent licenses. Now, in this exponential growth area, we started to notice the cracks. I think software engineers here can immediately say, look, these step decks, one day they're going to catch up to us, right? Well, we started noticing them. And I want to be more concrete. So in Infobip, we have something called incidents. I already had one talk about incidents. And incident is a situation where your product is not working, and there is something called SLA, or service level agreement, where your customers are measuring your time, and they are saying, okay, look, if this product is not working, we are going to charge you penalties if it's not up. And we had, due to the huge amount of various features all over the platform, right, we had multiple incidents on different products. And remember what I said, the same database. So whenever we had a database issue, it affected everything, right? So we had a lot of problems. Now, we did a retrospective. Now, this is the area where I can admit that I was maybe young, because I didn't, at that time I was learning by doing. This is also one of the Infobip principles. So I was just thinking, okay, what led to this? What led to this issue and ultimately to this presentation today? Well, if I could say this was this decision making, you need to think about it. Everybody in the organization should make a decision. Not only product, not only engineers. Everybody should sit at the same table and try to make a decision what to do next with the product. But we didn't have that. At that time, we had only new customers and exponential growth and the need to develop new features. Nobody was thinking, okay, what's happening with the technical issues? And my conclusion, and this is really my personal couple of thoughts, is that we had decisions, not we, but okay, favored deliverability instead of stability, and I would ultimately say performance, and they impacted new feature development. I coined a phrase that I was constantly starting to say, called utopia engineering. You are just building a features and just piling them on top and top and top, and you are just hoping, oh, yeah, with this feature, everything will stop. That's very important, this utopia. So you're thinking, look, we are going to reach this pinnacle where we are a super serious, smart, great product. Everybody is going to buy it. We don't need to develop new features. Most of the stack is already covered, right? So you understand where I'm going. And then we are going to reach this utopia. But it's never like that. When you are serving so many industries, so many customers of different origins and different needs, there's always some new feature, always something new. Do this, do that, And this was really, really starting to impact us on a daily basis. Now, one question could be, okay, how did it impact us? Well, only incidents, right? But there is another thing. For example, whenever engineering and PD, product development, started to talk, product management, I apologize, they started to talk, right? There was always this estimation. I think everybody here knows the word estimation, right? And the estimations just became larger and larger and larger. Because why? Then I thought about one thing. Why do estimations get larger? Because there is always this inherent mistrust. Not only mistrust, but mistrust in the product, management, and yourself, because you are not sure if you can do it faster, because you have incidents, you have issues, and you see the code base is not working. So this utopia engineering is really, really important and really, really hard to realize. What happened is the fallout. During this fallout, I can just say that a lot of things started to happen, and they just started to roll, like the house of cards that I just shown, right? They just started to crack. We had some people leaving, we had some change of leadership, and as a product, we simply sat down and said, okay, look, this cannot happen this way anymore. We need to figure out something new, something different. Where did it go wrong? I think I've spoken about a lot of reasons. We had a lot of these issues where we didn't speak honestly, we didn't tackle things true. Now, what I want to say is that today you need to always think about this balance. Okay, always think about the balance. Balance between technical features that are really helping the underlying platform and the product features that are, we call them product features that are actually helping the customers. But look, there is one important thing, one important statement that is always in the back of my mind that says, when engineers said we are doing some technical feature, because some part of the code or something needs to be better, that's actually not only technical feature, that's a product feature. Because why? If you do something technically good, then the future product feature development will be faster. So this technical feature that you did actually favors the product feature in the long run, or even in the short term. So whenever engineering team says we need to refactor something, okay, listen to the engineering team and think about, okay, why do we need to refactor? But always be aware of the, let's say, scope of the refactor, because people can really easily get lost in the refactor. We had to bring balance to our product. This is very, very important. But it is not only spoken balance, it's very important. Because if you say, let's imagine that we all sit on the table and say to each other, look, from tomorrow, we are going to work this way, balance all the features. It doesn't work, because people often forget the agreement. Because it's a spoken word. Agreement is a spoken word. This leads us to this product backlog refinement that I mentioned. We decided to work in a different way, and we call it a PBR, or product backlog refinement, where we said everything that needs to be done, either technical or product. Although I said technical are actually product features, they all need to be brought to this meeting. This meeting is a bi-weekly meeting that we have in conversations where every feature is brought and presented. Based on this presentation of the feature, the teams say, okay, we are going to work on the most important feature that is on top of the backlog. One important thing, there can be only one most important thing. This means that everybody who brings topics to the PBR, or product backlog refinement, they need to fight. They need to fight in order to determine who's the winner. What feature has the utmost priority? There cannot be two features that have the utmost priority. Of course, this doesn't mean that the engineering will work only on one feature, but it's actually very intuitive. Let's say you have a huge customer that really wants one thing and is going to, take a lot of manpower and really gonna bring a huge ton of profit. If this is the most important thing, then everybody can work on this. because it's the only most important thing that engineering will take. But if you have 5 top priorities, then engineering will just simply spread their efforts on let's say, building these 5 features. Today, we put everything on the PBR. Small, medium, big, it doesn't matter. Very important. There is no, let's say, side chats. Teams usually try to split their effort equally between product and technical features. Again, I mentioned this technical here, but I explained that these are all product features. And exceptions, and there are exceptions, can be made exceptionally. For example, we have a meeting, right, when we decide, okay, we are going to take this and that feature, but tomorrow customer comes and they really want something urgent. We need to be agile and we need to adapt to the situation. And we usually do the following. We take one thing from the teams, that wasn't really important or lowest priority, and we remove people from there, and we are going to exchange it with others. Very important, we do not take extra things. We just remove people from the existing things to make these exceptions go through. But they are made exceptionally, as in with every good code. Now, 2 lessons, at least two, let's say, lessons for the end, or just 2, I would say just notes from my end. What does a principal engineer do in Infobip? We need to be pragmatic. This is very important. We need to work with both engineering teams and product teams to help enable both sides. This means that we cannot simply lean to the technical people and tell them, look, we are going to push everything technical, or product people and say, yeah, I was on all the customer talks, I know how important this is for customer. We need to be pragmatic in a way that we simply balance between the two. And the second one is to change the perspective. And this is one, I would say, intriguing thought I want to leave you with. If a product or PLC product that you are building is growing extremely fast and you are really, really doing well, something could terribly go wrong. So really, you sometimes need to change the perspective and think, okay, what's going to happen in the future? With that talk, that's it from me. Thank you very much.